I try to pray for you.
Hello people and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be reviewing a pre-workout called Combat Fuel by Combat Fuel themselves. So how's it going to stack up to the original one that we reviewed a couple of years ago? What improvements are we seeing here? How does it come together in real life? You know, all those usuals, we'll be going through them. And if you are new here, please do tick the subscribe button, tick the bell icon, give the video a like if you like it, and drop down your thoughts below on this product and anything else you want to see us review. Let's get into this one. You know the drill, we're into that taste of mixability, and it comes in 3 different flavours. It comes in Cloudy Lemonade, which is the one we got the pleasure of trying for this review. Also comes in Sour Apple and Strawberry and Lime. And generally speaking, we always love these guys' flavouring systems, you know, whether it be their pump formula or their stimulant pre as it is here. So let's see how we get on with this one. Mixability, not too bad actually, not too bad. And there's 0 signs of clumping or anything of that nature in the tub, and we have had it open for quite a while, so thumbs up on there on the longevity of the product. Yeah, mixability, probably a little bit better than average actually, considering, you know, we're used to stirring it up a minute or two before and then leaving it on the side to settle. I'd say that is better than what we normally see. A nice translucent effect in the glass, but how's sour lemonade going to taste? Let's get into it. That's tasty, yeah. Very smooth, a little bit of sourness to it, nothing extreme, also not super boring either. I think they might have hit the nail on the head. Let's give it another sip though. Yeah, it's really nice. Honestly, I haven't got a bad thing to say about it. It tastes like it says it is on the tin, you know, Cloudy Lemonade. Yeah, I think they've played it relatively safe and it's paid off in this scenario. So I'd be happy to give that, honestly, a solid 8.5 out of 10. Only not giving it a 10 out of 10 simply because it's not, I've had more delicious flavours, simple as that. But as Cloudy Lemonades go, decent, 8.5 out of 10. So if you like the sound of this review, once we get through to the end and you want to pick up this product, you can head over to combat-fuel.co.uk where you can use our discount code RB15, which knocks off a nice 15%. You can pick up this 20 serving tub for £25.49 or £1.27 a go. And when you stick it on our consistent price scale that measures how expensive pre-workouts are from across the world, this falls in at a very nice 7 out of 10, with 5 out of 10 being bang average. So this is sitting nicely above the competition. So price better than an average pre-workout with our discount code. What are we getting in terms of the label and how's it going to come together in terms of effects? Is it going to be worth the price? Let's move into it. Right, let's get into this label then. So what are we getting here? So we've got a serving amount of 18.5 grams, which I believe is a gram more than their previous version of this pre-workout. So we're getting more actives here. So we've got L-citrulline at 6 grams, which is an overall improvement on the previous version, which was citrulline malate at 7 grams. So we're getting more actual L-citrulline here at the dose we like to look for. Well, generally most people look for at that 6 gram amount. That's going to help bump up nitric oxide levels, improving blood flow and ultimately the pump. So we like to see it. Got that ticked off there. Another staple ingredient follows in the form of beta-alanine at 3.5 grams. Again, another improvement on the previous formula, which I believe was just 3.2 grams. So we're getting more again here. So more itchy and tingle effect. That's obviously going to help with endurance when it builds up in your system. We love it. It gives you that sense of urgency as it kicks in. Then we move down to betaine anhydrous at 1.5 grams. Now I believe this is where it takes a slight downturn, as I believe in the previous formula it was 2.5 grams. So we've lost a gram of betaine here. But, you know, we'll have to see if that affects the overall package in the real world effects. But betaine anhydrous, a jack of all trades type ingredient. It's going to help with power, endurance, overall performance. We like to see it, and a bit of pump element as well. Then we've got L-tyrosine, an amino acid, 1.5 grams. Really, really solid dose there. We normally only see about a gram. That's going to help with focus and concentration, especially when it's paired up with caffeine, which we'll come on to soon. Then we've got taurine, which is another amino acid, 1.5 grams, another solid dose. Again, only normally see a gram. Another jack of all trades type ingredient in that it helps with cognitive benefits, energy production within the body and hydration and pump. Then we've got alpha GPC 50%, 800 milligrams. We normally only see 600 milligrams, so we're yielding a total of 400 milligrams of actual choline. So that's going to increase choline levels in the brain, helping with mental fatigue, helping with focus and concentration. We like a bit of nootropic action in our pre-workouts. Then we move down to caffeine anhydrous, the main ingredient in all pre-workouts, let's face it, at 300 milligrams, which is a really solid dose, probably about the average you see in pre-workouts today. Around 3 cups of coffee worth of stimulation there. It's going to hit relatively quick and wake you up and get you moving. Love it. And then we move down to a new ingredient in this formula, which is Infinergy, a trademark version of dicaffeine malate, 100 milligrams, which will yield 75 milligrams of actual caffeine from that, topping up the total to 375 milligrams, which is definitely a bit above your average pre-workout, but still certainly in the daily driver realm of caffeine. So that's going to kick in later on into your training, giving you more prolonged energy as the initial caffeine anhydrous starts to wean off. It's normally in products to mitigate any kind of crash. So we like to see it, and how's it going to come together in this, we'll let you know. Wrapping off, we've got a nice little ingredient, estrogen, registered ingredient, 50 milligrams. That has replaced the previous formula's black pepper extract. You know, we're happy to see that it's got a digestive aid in here to some degree. It would have been cool to see the black pepper kept in alongside the estrogen for a double absorption element, but we're happy to see estrogen nonetheless. It's going to help get all of this through as quickly and efficiently as possible. So overall, I do believe the formula to be a nice solid upgrade with some quality of life improvements. It is a shame that the betaine anhydrous was knocked down by a gram, and it is a shame that the black pepper extract was taken out, because that is quite a cheap ingredient. I would have just left it in there. But those are my only minor nitpicks. Is that going to affect the effects in a negative way or a positive way? Let's get into it and we'll let you know. Okay, let's get into the effects of Combat Fuel. And the several times myself and Aaron have used it, and like I mentioned, we have used and reviewed their previous formula, which we already liked. We already did like it. We gave it an 8 out of 10. I did skim through that review just as a refresher on some various bits and pieces. And yeah, it was a really solid product already. So how does this one stand in comparison to that one? You know, based on the label, I would say it's an overall net positive on the changes they've gone for. So does that translate into the real world when it concerns the benefits from it? Well, let's start off from the beginning like we always do with that beta-alanine. It's in here at 3.5 grams, which is an improvement on the previous 3.2. Obviously, you've got the estrogen instead of the black pepper extract, which is arguably a better absorption ingredient anyway. So with those two factors combined, the beta-alanine does come in very strong. I'm talking 8, 9 out of 10 on the tingle scale, so it does set the tone for wanting to get moving, you know, giving you that initial kick up the bum. Now, what comes in around the same sort of time as that beta-alanine after sort of 15-20 minutes is that caffeine anhydrous, 300 milligrams, which is certainly not to be sniffed at. It comes in nicely. It doesn't send, you know, obviously this is discretionary depending on how sensitive you are to caffeine, but myself, I'd say I'm just normal. Like, I'm not excessively sensitive, and it's not a case of I don't feel it. I'm sort of in the middle. We cycle these pre-workouts between stim and non-stim and take stim breaks and all things of that nature. So it comes into a respectable level. You know, that paired with the beta-alanine certainly does get you feeling, you know, right, let's get cracking, let's get moving after sort of 20-30 minutes, which is when I'd say you'd want to start training in that window of time after the 20-30 minute mark with this particular product. Obviously, it's got no illicit ingredients, so it's not one of these ones that you need to sit around for sort of like 40-45 minutes waiting for these DMAA type, you know, DMHA ingredients to kick in. So you are ready to get cracking after a relatively short period of time, which is a thumbs up, right? You don't want to be sitting around all day. So that 300 milligrams of caffeine is enough to get you through most training sessions, particularly the shorter gym days, you know, like a shoulder or chest day or an arm day, but it does struggle a little bit more on a longer, more intense day like a leg day or a back day, but it still does see you through nonetheless. It's just more noticeable that you perhaps would want something a bit stronger, but again, very discretionary. I'm just talking personal experience here. So that caffeine amount is solid to get the job done for the most part. And when that caffeine anhydrous does wean off after sort of the 2 hour window, maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours, that dicaffeine malate does come in nicely and take you down slowly, so there's no huge drop off or crash. So not that it was on the previous one, to be absolutely honest with you, because I do believe the nootropics keep you ticking over, you know, such as the alpha GPC and the L-tyrosine. However, it's nice to have that extra backbone of that dicaffeine malate to see you down back to earth. Well, not that it takes you off out of earth, but you know what I mean. It brings you down to the level you were at before you took the product. So it doesn't take you below neutral, so you don't feel horrible after it leaves your system. And I'd say it leaves your system entirely after sort of 2.5, 3 hours, which is good because it is ultimately a daily driver product, isn't it? It's not gonna, you don't want it to ruin the rest of your day. You don't want it to suppress your appetite and make you miss meals. You don't want it to keep you up all night. You don't want to be jittery and feeling horrendous on it. It's a very productive product with an audience in mind. And I think it is nailing it, but I don't want to jump the gun too quickly because I'm only touching on the energy at this point. So let's move on to focus, which I would say is arguably the second best element of it, just behind the energy. So the focus, obviously you are relying mainly on the caffeine itself, the alpha GPC, you know, the taurine to a degree, you know, that's arguable, and the L-tyrosine. So these are all things that are going to help gear your brain up and get it ticking over at optimal levels. And again, you feel on the ball, like I said, you get a nice productive mindset with this, maybe a little bit of mood elevation on it. Don't get me wrong, you're not running around feeling euphoric off your bunts. There's no illicit type feeling like this, which is why it is suitable for tested athletes and beginners and advanced people, all people of that nature.
Savage pumps in the gym and the bedroom. Wolf pump.
So yeah, the focus is nice, it's healthy feeling. Now behind that I would say the pumps, but only just behind that, mind you. Obviously you are getting the L-citrulline, and you know the betaine anhydrous and taurine, you could argue, would play into the pumps to a certain extent, but that is probably the worst element, though certainly still above average, the pumps. So you do get nice pumps on this, you get a nice amount of vascularity. It's not mind-blowing, I'm not going to lie, you know, don't get it twisted. Obviously if you want juicy pumps, go for their other products called Pumped Up, I believe, which you probably could stack them together quite easily if you want to increase the pump amount with this product. But nonetheless, it is ticking that box of giving you pumps. And actually on the side here it does say maintain focus, insane pumps and sustained energy. And I would say that for the most part those claims are on the ball, you know, on the money. It is giving you all of those elements. Obviously you guys have seen the label, it's ticking all of those boxes that we look for, you know, when it concerns energy, focus, pump, and even endurance to a degree. So you are getting everything you want with this product. It is hitting everything above average, definitely. It's just not absolutely knocking anything out of the park to a crazy level. But then again, it's not trying to be. It's trying to be a nice, well-rounded, healthy, everyday type pre-workout. And I'd say it ticks that box, definitely. So energy, I'd give probably like a 7.5 out of 10, 7 to 7.5 out of 10. I would give the focus a 7 out of 10, and I would give the pumps a 6.5 out of 10. And there are absolutely no negatives to this product, which again, we like to say that gains these products at least a point on that factor alone, because no one wants negative effects with their products, right? With their pre-workout specifically. So yeah, it's a nice solid product. I do believe it is an overall upgrade on the previous one. You don't really miss that 1 gram of betaine anhydrous that they've taken away, but you do notice the increase in beta-alanine tingles, the sense of urgency, and the nice added amount of caffeine that comes in towards the end of your training session to see you through and mitigate any kind of crash. So yeah, I do think it is an overall improvement. Like I said, we gave the previous one an 8 out of 10. I think honestly I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 as well, and that's not to say it hasn't improved. Like I said, it definitely has. I just don't think it's improved to a degree where I'm happy to jump it up a whole half a point. I think that it would have needed to add just a little bit more excitement in the label. You know, maybe an extra pump ingredient or two, maybe 1 or 2 extra focus ingredients. You know, I'm not even necessarily saying it needs any more for energy, but just a little bit more, I think, would have made me give it an 8.5 out of 10. But I'm really happy, absolutely happy to give it a solid 8 out of 10. It is hitting every element you'd want from a pre-workout. It's relatively non-exciting as pre-workouts go, but I would say that's good, because sometimes you want a predictable pre-workout. You want to be like, oh, I've only got a 2-hour window to get down the gym, then I've got to go and do this and do some chores and that. You know, this is the perfect pre-workout that you can take, and it's not going to wreck your day. You know, it's not going to send you off to an unhealthy type of realm. It's, you know, your head's on straight with this thing. So it's one that I'm going to use, definitely, moving forward. You know, on days where I just want to grab a nice, healthy, predictable, productive pre-workout that I know I'm going to get a good session on, definitely I'll use it, absolutely. It tastes good, it's priced well, it ticks every box you want. If you want more pumps, you can stack it with their other product. So honestly, yeah, I really can't say too many negative things about this. We really like these guys over at Combat Fuel. They always tend to do solid products. You know, their pump product, in fact, is absolutely top tier. You know, probably it would make our top 10, I think, for pump formulas. Like, it's that good. So this isn't quite as exciting as that, but this still has an audience and still is a great product. But that one we just prefer, you know, if we was to choose one or the other. So yeah, I think I've said everything I need to say on this product. We want to know what you think of it down below, you know, based on this review, or if you've even used it yourself, let us know down below so that new viewers can look at it and be like, oh, other people think that it's good as well. I might grab it. So yeah, and like I said, do use a discount code if you want it. It works on all of their products, so it will knock off a nice amount, 15%, not to be sniffed at. So yeah, I think I've covered it all. Yeah, that's a lot, guys. I'm going to stop waffling now, but yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, stay stimmed.